Hello you lovely lot, and welcome back to another episode from the Rusty Gears server. Now, before we get started with this second part of this Mammoth catch-up, which I might add, might move into a third part, I want to give a great big shout out to our Series 5 sponsors, Lagless GG. Do look them up and consider them hosting your server. You can use the link in the description below for 25% off your first order. Now that's done, let's see what I've been up to. Now then, we've been having a lot of problems on the server with food spoilage. You know what it's like, don't you? And things are not quite balanced yet, and I think the mod that stops food from spoiling when you're offline needs to be updated. So I'm finding every time I come back online, I've got spoiled food in my inventory and I have to go out looking for food. And I spotted a little troop of piggies round this corner. So in this part 2 of the catch-up, I'm starting off with catching my dinner. I could have played it safe and looked for some veggies or some fruit, but I thought I'd go the whole hog, pardon the pun, because I needed the hides and the fat. So piggies it were, and it started off quite well. 3 shots and they're dead, so I needed those other 2. This one decided to swim, and as you know, they swim quicker in water now. That one around the tree, I managed to get another couple of shots on, and that was it, it was down. But this one was very elusive. But I managed to get it. Haha. I never thought termite mounds would be on my menu, but you know, needs must. I was trying to open up the map a bit while I was out and about. And I revisited a few places. This high fertility soil I missed picking up last time, when I found the coal. But I wanted to open up this area of the map, just past where the chalk was. I was identifying ruins on the map as well, so I could come back to them when I'd got my Nightwatcher. I certainly wasn't going down right now. There were some vessels though, and as you know, there's all sorts of things in vessels. I was after books as well. For the X skills, we'll have a look at those later. It was night time and I decided I'd just hunker down until the morning. And as meat didn't last very long, I thought I should cook it really. I didn't want to go wandering around for firewood, so I chopped up a couple of logs from my tent. I know you're probably laughing at me, but they're easy to replace. That was as far as I wanted to go. And then I dug a little hole and I cooked my meat. Then I picked my tent up and off I went. This was a big ruin with a dead guy, a big tree and a hidden compartment in the side. So I decided I wasn't going to miss out on what was in there. It was in my passive adventure though, so I wasn't quite sure whether there'd be any mobs down here or not. So I went with some trepidation, but thankfully, when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I found that there were no other inhabitants. But look at all this loot. I love it when you peek down a hole and there's an obvious ruin staring at you. You can't really pass up the chance to go in, can you? There were 1 or 2 critters on the other side, but I managed to whip round into it without them seeing me. And then I sort of bunged up the entrance. Now with these little ruins, and I've been in a few, there is usually something good under the bony soil. Nice. Bees were in my future, and to have bees you needed loads of flowers, and there were loads of flowers here, so I were getting them. I got a bit ahead of myself here and didn't spot the arrock that was behind me. But it was quite docile. I don't know what it'd been on. But it didn't take too much to have that as well. 2 good kills. I'd circled round to where I'd been before. There were lots of resin here. A very lot of resin. There was a wide river to cross as I was coming back to spawn, but somebody had been working on it and had made a little bridge across it. Well, it wasn't so little, was it? It was quite a wide river, was this. Nice. Spawn was developing nicely. There was more houses and more building being done. And people were beginning to think about what shops they would put up. I haven't thought of any shops. I'm not quite sure what I would sell. And it's always nice to see my little mud hut across the lake when I'm coming back. Wouldn't be a mud hut for long though. I have got plans for this place. And the sooner I get my Nightwatcher the better. There are lots of critters that keep coming out at night around here. And they're the useless type, you know, the ones that don't ever have anything. At least they don't come in hordes. Well, they haven't done so far, touch wood. And at least I can practice my battle tactics and improve my skills at swordsmanship. I can't say I'm really challenged at the moment though. But you never know what's around the corner. But at night time they just kept coming and nibbling away. Really annoying they were. You couldn't get anything done really. Not in this little hut. I could do with something bigger. And I was thinking of extending. And as usual I was thinking of extending downwards. Just until I got myself sorted enough to start building my house. I had plans. Now I had tried to make some pitch glue for a canoe if you remember from the last episode. Because it looked really cool sailing a canoe in Sid's Nomad series. It took resin and charcoal to make pitch glue. I did have a bit of a problem though trying to get the pitch glue out of the cooking pot. And I totally stuffed it up last time so I had to collect more resin. And Crafty Candy suggested I used a bowl. So I started with a bowl and I carefully clicked it on the cooking pot. Because I didn't want to lose this again. I really didn't. So I slowly clicked onto the cooking pot and then clicked onto the bucket, and sure enough it was transferring it. And I could see now that it was transferring, but it was like 0.1 litre at a time. But that was totally my fault, because I hadn't even considered clicking it more than once each time I took it to the bowl. And I'd totally forgotten that this bowl would hold 1 litre, so I could have done that. I could have actually done that. But instead I decided I'd had enough of this little bowl and I wanted to try again with the bucket. So I picked up the bucket and I clicked on the bowl, and then I clicked on the bowl with the bucket and transferred 1 litre at a time. And transferred the whole lot in no time at all. What am I like? So I left the pitch glue to harden as it was shown in the recipe. I thought I was doing the right thing, you see. In the meantime, I decided to extend downstairs a little bit and have a storage room, a proper storage room. There might be other rooms off there as well. And I started off with a room that was actually less than 7 by 7. I was planning on having all the food down here. I didn't think it would make any difference to how long the food lasted, because it did show up as a storage room upstairs on my little icon, you know, to the left of my hotbar. And it didn't take me long to get that all organised. And I got a little bit of food, although it wouldn't last me that long really. It was the crocs that seemed to be the problem, and I got some vintage beef as well. Well, it was time to make the canoe. The pitch glue had hardened, like it showed in the recipe. So I got all the bits and bats together, put in the oak, put in the hardened pitch glue, the axe and the birch logs, 5 in each, and the 4 rope at the bottom. No canoe. No canoe. Well, apparently where it said 100% hardened pitch glue, it didn't mean that for the recipe. So I had to set 2 to soften the pitch glue and heat it up again. Eventually I got to the point where I could make the canoe. So I put all the bits and pieces in, the softened pitch glue, the axe, the birch, the oak and the rope, and there it was. But what to do with it then? I obviously hadn't paid that much attention to this bit in Sid's videos, because where do you put it? It didn't go anywhere. Oh my goodness. I had the thought that maybe it went in an empty slot, like, you know, the beehives. So I thought I should empty one of my slots and see if I could put it in there. So for the time being, it would have to go on the floor. It looked a nice little canoe, did that. But yes, as soon as I moved one of my linen sacks, it jumped in. So down I went to the edge of the pond and threw it in. Next I would need a paddle, so I went back in to make one. That was a lot easier than the canoe itself, thank goodness. With just 2 logs and 2 rope and a knife, you got a nicely carved oar. Looked very pretty actually. But it was getting late, I had to go and would have to leave sorting out the canoe till I came on next time. Next time I came on, there was one of those green flying things hovering about in front of my hut. It didn't seem to see me. Didn't seem to see me. It didn't turn round and come after me. It just turned round and went back the way it had come. And once it got to where it started, it went off in the opposite direction. The next day, the bear was back. So I got up to the top of my ladder again, looked around and saw other things floating about. But the bear at least was in the pond. Yes, I'd have to move on to something better than a sling. Next on my list, and quite overdue, was a garden. I had collected some seeds. And I dug a 2-block deep trench all around to see if I could catch anything. Next, I wanted to make an area for some traders. It was always nice to have traders so you could get some income from virtually just feeding them, really. I used pine wood to line them because pine wood was in abundance with my tree farm. So I just built 2 initially, with a cheap chest, a cheap bed and a welcome mat. I only had enough flax for 1 welcome mat, so only 1 compartment was working in the beginning. Next I planted my seeds in my little garden and then got distracted by picking up the charcoal. I went back and finished planting my seeds in my little garden. I planted some pumpkins along the edge of the lake. I thought they'd look nice there. And I filled the charcoal pit again. I was planning a fairly long trip and wanted to get all these bits done on my jobby list before I went. I needed to find some cassiterite. There wasn't much to be had, and I'd not found any yet. Next on the list was some bees, and I'd done a skep, and I'd hoped it wouldn't take long to actually populate because I'd got all those flowers on my travels. So I used a whole stack under the skep. And it said it would populate in 4 days. Nice. Well, I've decided it's time to go on a trip. A longer trip than usual. Not around this area. I'm going to go off in a direction and I've picked southeast. Southeast is where I'm going to go. And I'm going to keep going until I find land. And then I'm going to explore said land until I find some cassiterite. So I travelled past the bit that I'd got to before and then I decided to go southeast. And I wasn't going to stop until I'd got to somewhere. I'd gone about 3,000 blocks and I came across some land. It was in the middle of the night, so I was glad that there was a trader there. So I ran for it. It was a clothing merchant. What else would it be? I wanted to go a little bit further up shore to find somewhere that was a little bit less covered in greenery. And thankfully, a little bit further up, there was a big sandy beach. And I thought that might just open up and become a desert. Because I've always found cassiterite in a desert. I took a little sample when I first got there. There was a hint that there might be some hematite on there. I thought I'd wait till morning to make my move and have a look round. But there were noises. There were a lot of noises and I didn't like them. And they were getting closer. So it was time for me to go. And I made a run for it. It seems that there was a rift very close to where I was. So that might have accounted for all the noises. I wonder if that floaty thing was that noise that I heard that I'd never heard before. I don't know. I don't know. I certainly wasn't going that way though. But they were staying away from me. They weren't attacking me. They weren't coming after me. So that was one thing. And there was food. So that was another. So I went west, which was inland from where I'd started, and just crossed my fingers and hoped that there was something really good beyond all this greenness. The trees and the bushes were getting less, so that was a good sign. For me, anyway. I was very brave going through all this bushland. And there it was. It was a desert. Just what I was hoping for. And there were buildings. Look at this. Wow. There were termites, which I was getting quite used to now. Yummy. And there was meteoric iron and copper everywhere. Nice. I'd be back for that. There was another kitchen trader. I can't say that I do much in the kitchen, but I might start experimenting a bit now. Gosh, look at all this lot. And look at this. It looked like the bottom half of a pyramid. I decided to be brave and go and investigate. I couldn't see myself going in it, but... Ooh, bamboo and acacia. Nice. So out came my tent bag and I started collecting stuff. And I wanted to have a look at what this building was. So with a little bit of trepidation, I must say, I decided to have a look on top. See if there was a way in. And I found a hole on top with some stairs you could see. With a bit of digging I could get down there, but I wasn't about to do it by myself. But it was there and I marked it on the map, and I would surely be coming back to that. This was a big desert, and I started identifying all the ruins that there were around and having a look and seeing what was what. Some of them had just vessels, and some of them had bits of basements. But there wasn't anything really exciting in these little ones, but there were books to be had in the vessels, so it was worth going down and having a nom-nom on a bit of leather and a bit of paper. And there were 2 vessels in this one. Very nice. But the first one didn't crack. But I'd rather crack it open really and see what was what, because I wasn't collecting cracked vessels at this point. And luckily enough, there was some cassiterite in there. And my surprise was followed by an unexpected guest that I had to tussle with. You, get out, get out, get out. Ooh, this is a bigger one. Ooh, nice. Ooh, a few vessels here. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, just tools. Ooh, a bit of fire clay. Oh, I love that. Very nice. Ooh, there's a few buildings here. Let's have a look. Oh, another bed. I'll have to get that. I think that will... Yep, it stacks. Very nice. Oh, another one of those. I'll have to have those. I'll take those anytime. Oh. Wasn't much in there, was there? Let's have a look. Get some of these mushrooms as well. Dryad saddle mushrooms. I've collected some of those. Those are okay to eat. Nice. Where are they? That's it. Where's the other one? There it is. Yep, no minus on there. What have these got in? Flint arrows. Nothing in there. Let's crack open this one. Flint. Oh, and there's a book. There's a book. We'll have the book. What can I chuck out? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, I've got to get rid of that. Digging. I'm always digging. That'll be a good one. There we go. None on that one. Put those mushrooms up there. Right. There's windows here as well. That's a bigger bit. That's a bigger bit. We'll go over there. Have a look. Hopefully there's no critters in there. There's quite a few bits of buildings to this. Ooh, quite a few mushrooms on the wall. Could do with, probably will do with those windows a bit later on, but I don't think I want them now. Nice. Now then, sometimes there's a basement to... Ooh, look at that. I'm having that. Definitely having that. What can I get rid of? Let's get rid of that. I've already got one. Oh, I had a I had a blank. Oh, I think I'd like some of those. Definitely. What's that? Right, let's have a look under here. See if there is a basement. Oh, no, there isn't under this one. Oh well. Let's have a look around here. Some more of those mushrooms. We'll have that. Nice. Maybe it's under this one. Could it be under this one? No, I think I'm in the wrong church here. Oh, another torch holder. We'll have that. If I can get in. Can I get in? Can I get in? Get rid of that. Yep. Nice. Deer ear mushrooms. Oh, I think I'm getting too many different types of mushrooms here. Oh, another vessel. Let's have that one. Oh, that's more tools. Oh, it's got a book. Let me eat those. Get rid of that. Oh, that could be a stair dungeon over there. Now then, what's this? Come on, trader. An agriculture supplier. It's not very good in the middle of a desert, is it? I'm going to have a little bit of a reading here. See if we get any higher readings of the hematite. There we go. Put that pick in there. Oh no, that's no good. No good. Let's go back into the desert. We've sort of come out of it here. What's that? Oh my goodness me. I found a dragon. That is a dragon. I need to look this up. Okay, so I should be able to hit it. Okay, it says killed. Okay, I've killed it. Can I harvest it now? Yeah, it's doing something. I'm doing it. Oh, an egg! An egg! Nice. And 2 dragonstone. Okay. 2 dragonstone. But from what I've seen, you need a lot more than 2, so I'm going to have to keep my eye out for more dragons. Can I pick this up? Does this dissolve or does it go away? Does it? Oh, there. Oh, a lot of stuff there. Right, time for my tent bag, I think. Oh, what have I done? Oh, for goodness sake. Let me just see if I can... Oh, what's happening? Oh, I'm hungry. Oh my goodness me. Let me just stuff my mushrooms. Oh, what's happening? What is it? What is it? What is it? No! What was it? What killed me? Oh dear. Oh, it's so far away. Oh, I haven't even practiced in this canoe. I have no idea what to do with it. Can I put these baskets in? I can't seem to... Whenever I click on it, I jump out. Right, I'm back in again. Okay, we're going. We're going. Oh my goodness me. Okay, I think I might have it. Right, oh, thank goodness for Sid. Oh. Okay, that didn't take too long actually to get back. I'll just mark where my boat is. Right. At least it's daylight as well. Right. Here we go. Oh, there's my stuff. My poor dead corpse. Let's just have a look at this lot here. And I need to get this back together again. Oh dear. I just panicked. Oh, look at that. Death caps. Oh, I'd been eating so many mushrooms I didn't even check. You horrid things. Well, after that minor setback, I carried on looking for stuff. And I came across a set of barricades, which looked vaguely familiar. Oh, yes. I think Sid would remember this as well. We both came croppers down there, so I certainly wouldn't be going down here on my own. Oh, what's this one? Oh, look at some of those cactuses. I'll have to get some of those. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a hole down there. Let me just have a look. Can I get down there? I don't want to fall down. It looks like it might be endless. Let me just put those there. They feel a bit more secure. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I don't want to be going down there, but can I get this cactus? Can I get this? Oh, yes. Nice. I want that other one as well. These look good with the red bits on. Nice. Now, where to go, where to go? I think down this way. This desert is huge. That peters out up there. Let's go. I don't want to go back to the green bit, I don't think. I want to go this way, I think. Down here. Yeah. Oh, there's a trade. Oh, and oh, that looks like a staircase ruin. That does. I'll mark that. Be coming back to that when I've got my Nightwatcher. Oh, what's that? Oh, look at that. That is massive. Oh, those flags on top. I remember that. Yeah, I remember going in there with Sid and Punk last season. There's quite a lot of stuff in there, but there's also quite a lot of nasties. So again, that's one to mark and to come back to. Nice. Very nice. Look at that. That looks so imposing. And it's broken off at both ends as well. It'd be interesting to see how big that would be if it was intact. Okay, so I'll just mark those. And that does look like a staircase ruin. So we'll mark that and that one right next to it. Very good, very good. Nice. Right, let's go further down here. Ooh, what's this? Oh, that might be... I think that's an olive tree, actually. It is. We'll take some of this back. That should grow where we are. And some copper as well. Right, which way to go now? Tin! Oh! That is so cool. Just close that up. And I'm going to get digging. Oh, tin. Well, after finding what I came for, I decided to collect as much copper as I could, identify as many meteoric iron sites as I could, and head home. I'm sure it wouldn't be long before I'd be back. So I found my way back to my canoe. It was dark by then, but I wasn't too bothered. I was quite a happy chappy, even though I'd had a death. I was quite content as I paddled home. So, turning into the river that led to home, identified a bit of a problem with the canoe and the river system. And the current of the river slowed the canoe down so much that I almost felt I was going backwards. I mean, you can imagine that would happen in real life, but, you know, this was a game. Does it have to be so realistic? Yeah, it was going to take some time to get up that river. Well, I persisted, but it took over 9 in-game hours to paddle up from the sea. You can see the difference as I came into the pond. Wow. Well, that was one big disadvantage using the canoe. But I was home and I was happy. And in no time at all, I had some bronze on the go. And my skep was populated with bees. I used the gorgeous mallow plants to put under my bees. And then I heard something, so I made a run for it. Yep, I thought so, you horrid thing. Yeah, can't get in, can ya? Come here. Did it come in? It's coming back. No. Oh, dear. Come on, where have you gone? Come here. There you go. Come on, come on, come on. Stupid thing. I really need to get my Nightwatcher sorted for around here. I need to go and get that gold. That's what I need to do. But I've a few more jobbies to do before I go out on another trip. I added a couple of more rooms to the traders downstairs. The bees got to a large population in that one skep, so I needed to make more skeps really, so that I had a lot populated. I needed to do some clay forming as well to make ceramic hives. And something had been caught in the trench around the farm. But it wasn't something I could get some meat from. I thought hiding behind the charcoal pit might be a good way to get it, using my sling. Unfortunately, it wasn't as good as I thought. Oh. Oh, you little rat bag. So a fast manoeuvre was required. I couldn't see anything else hanging about, but there was a rift, so the potential was that there would be something soon. Yes, it definitely wasn't long before more turned up. I would have to keep my eye out. I'd been able to make mats for all of the traders now, so I had 4 active traders. And a steady little income. Very nice. And I tended to use grain because it lasted the longest. Even though this wasn't seen as a storage room, it still lasted quite a while. And when I found an artisan had popped in, I purchased a couple of planters for my cacti. And I noticed they had some nice decorative hives. I wonder how many different ones of those there are. Very nice. I got a couple of planters. And I planted them outside my mud hut in remembrance of Hippie. And I read up about dragons. You can hatch a dragon egg by placing it on the ground with enough space around it and waiting for it to hatch. It will take a while, so be patient. Once the dragon hatches, it will go through several growth stages until it reaches adulthood. You can also use a draconic medallion to claim ownership of the dragon once it's fully grown. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's what these are for. Okay, you need 4 of those, so they obviously expect you to find more than 1 dragon. I've got to keep my eye out then. Place it on the neck of your draconic mount to claim ownership. You can only claim 1 at a time. Okay. Need leather for that as well. And a draconic schematic. Okay. Once your dragon is grown up... Ooh, saddlebags. Okay. Oh, you need the schematic for that as well. So that's quite important. Okay. Let's have a look. A dragon horn allows you to call your claimed wyvern to you. Okay. Right, need nails and strips for those and some more leather. Okay, I need to keep the leather going, don't I? I'd never made a skep with papyrus, so I thought I'd have a go, see what it looked like. And I quite like the way it looked, actually. Although you wouldn't be seeing that because it would be in a ceramic hive. So placing the skeps all around the original skep, I thought after my long journey to go and get my gold, they may all be populated. So I sussed out my route. I thought I'd take a direct route and fill in the little bit of the map that was blank. And I thought I'd pop into the treasure hunter on the way, see if he had a temporal gear, because I'd need one of those for a Nightwatcher. I did start collecting stuff on the way as well, as you do, you know, when you're out and about. No temporal gear here. But I gathered up some peat. And then found another dragon. I couldn't believe, so close to spawn, that I was still finding dragons. Wasn't very good at identifying where to hit it, and then a little bit of overkill. I think you only have to hit it once. Ooh, 2 dragonstone in that one. I might need just 1 more dragon. Well, obviously, I knew what those mushrooms were this time. I was having none of them. I collected all the flax I could find, whether it was mature or not. I needed to plant more in my garden. And I spotted a trader wagon. Now, had I been there before? Yeah, it was marked on my map. That was a building materials one. I didn't have much further to go before I got to the gold. And there on the horizon, I found another dragon. I had decided that this would be the last dragon I would collect because I think I would have enough dragonstone for the things I needed for my dragon. And I'd just get the coords if I found any more. There were actually 3 dragonstones in this one. I had seen some absolutely gorgeous horses, but with dragons on the horizon, I mean, horses can't fly, can they? So it was time to do some digging, and I would dig as long as my pick could last out. I wanted as much gold as I could get. And then another unexpected find. Very nice. And that was it. That was my pick gone. I don't know why I hadn't brought another one, actually. I picked up some galena on the way back. And more resin. It was everywhere over here. And then I was on my way home to see how much gold I'd actually got. Now, it was only of poor quality, so I wasn't expecting great amounts. But I did think I might have got a little more than I did. But at least I got enough for another ingot of gold. So I carried on crossing things off my list until I had a temporal gear. I was hoping one of my traders might have one soon. I made one further compartment for a trader just to even things off. I did start off with 4 last season, but I lost one to a bug. The doors got a bit annoying, so I decided to change them, and I put gates in instead. I mean, they usually have gates on the wagons anyway, don't they? So that wouldn't be too, you know, strange for them, I don't think. And I changed the access to them a little bit as well, because I was fed up of getting pulled up the ladder as I went for the door. It worked out quite nicely. I could get up the ladders really easily, and I could just go straight forward to get to the traders. Hello, have I seen you before? A trader? Strange, yes, you were in before, weren't you? And I could get to the baskets to fill it up and grab any gears that had been left. I had a nice little income. I was still waiting for a temporal gear to turn up. In the meantime, I was still watching these strange beings that were floating about. I was also waiting for parchment, and I could get some of that from an agriculture supplier, so I was really chuffed when one turned up, and I could buy some. So then I could make my draconic schematic. Nice. The medallion, though, to own your mount, needed 4 dragonstones, and with finding those other 2 dragons, I got enough. I thought having some stronger spears might be a good idea with all the critters that were coming round here. And I had no idea how long it would take me to get a temporal gear. I made 4. I was thinking that should be enough. I kept looking at that Nightwatcher recipe, hoping that that temporal gear would disappear. But it was there every time I opened it up. Now the harness, to be able to ride your dragon, needed a huge amount of leather. A treasure hunter. Yes! Oh, that is fab. Nice. I'm gonna have that. I also purchased a bow and some arrows. Well, you can't have too many things to beat off the critters, can you? But it was time I sorted out this gold and got some plates sorted, so a little bit of smelting was in order. And with extra gold I got from purchasing omok pieces, I was able to make 4 ingots. So in went the gold, and I got on with a few other jobbies while it cooled. I made sure people knew whose place this was, beautiful as it was, and was now in a position to make a Nightwatcher. Alright, that's easy. This, and this. My best friend! That is going everywhere with me. There was a big cave where critters kept coming out of, so I used my Nightwatcher for the first time to actually explore it and see what was down there. You never know, there might be something really, really cool. I had my forks ready just in case something had spawned before I put the Nightwatcher down. But there was nothing more exciting than that. So I collected the borax, which would come in handy when I found some iron and wanted to make an iron anvil. I got it all. I think I have. Yep. I wanted to automate the quern, so next I got a little windmill up. I didn't have a lot of flax, so I wouldn't be able to have my full complement of sails, but anything was better than nothing at all. But I was able to make it quite high. Not nearly as high as it would need to go to get the bonus, but as high as I could with the resources that I had. Two sets were all I could afford. Whoa. Oh, there's one there. How did... No idea. Don't ask me. I have no idea how that got there. And with the height that I was able to get it, the quern worked with not much wind. So that was nice. So next I set out to fill in that hole so I could build an enclosure to put my dragon egg in. And I needed to make more room for the enclosure. The oak would come in very handy. It was so nice to have the safety of the Nightwatcher around. No critters to be seen. I thought I'd do a round enclosure for the dragon and just hoped it would be comfortable in it, because dragons were quite big. Standing back, once I'd made the enclosure, I wondered whether it would be big enough, whether the fences were high enough. I wasn't quite sure, so just to be on the safe side, I put another layer on. Oh, that looks alright, doesn't it? I quite like that. Could have more than one in there as well, I think. Yeah, I think that's alright. What are these here? Take that out. Do you get one each time you put it down? I think you must do. I made sure there was enough light. I wouldn't want my dragon to disappear after all the work of getting it. And then I placed my dragon egg in the centre. How exciting was that? It said it was dormant, so I'm not sure what would make it active. We'd have to wait and see, I suppose. There's nothing else I can do right now. I would, of course, have to think of a name for my dragon. I needed to go out again now to get more chalk so I could have more lime. And I also thought I might as well get that fire clay that I'd found earlier if it was still there. So I thought this time I would go by sea and maybe sample some of the land on the way, see if there's any hint of any iron. And I certainly wasn't taking that canoe, not with all the time it took to get back up this river. Oh no. And I did some prospecting on the way. Oh, hi hematite. Well, I certainly wasn't going to pass that up. Hematite. I did more prospecting to find the best place to dig down. And there it was. So I plonked down my best friend, my Nightwatcher, and started digging. It was going 10 to a dozen in the wrong direction. So I left my Nightwatcher in situ and went off to restore my temporal stability, get some chalk and that fire clay, and by the time I'd come back, I'd be able to get some more. I couldn't really do much more. I really needed to go home with all my goodies. Oh, it was so nice to be home again. It really, really was. I always like to go home. And it was high time that I made this place feel more like home with a proper house. I took my Nightwatcher and took it to a place where I thought it would be most useful. I really needed to make another one. And I had a look at the egg to see if anything had changed. It was now incubating. How exciting is that? Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I'm going to have to make a part 3 of this catch-up to bring you right up to date. Because I did so much stuff, what can I say? I'm a glutton. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.